So, welcome back everyone to another Finding Forex video. This is going to be my market weekly outlook. Just before we get into all of that good stuff, first of all, if you guys didn't know, I actually have a Telegram channel where I send out so many different trades and trade ideas. If we look here, just today, or actually last Friday, we took a sell on NZD USD. We took a sell on NZD JPY, as you can see up in that top corner. So these two pairs, NJ smashed to take profit. We banked like 50 pips there. We had NZD USD running beautifully. And then as the day went on, we hit the take profit, or we came to actually a couple of pips off, and then I just closed it. And this was like 5:30 on a Friday, so I didn't really want to hold it. If you guys are interested in joining the free signals group, there'll be a link to that down in the description below. But first of all, let me just run through some pairs, and actually let me first of all run through this NZD USD trade that I took and this NJ trade that I also took, which I sent to all of the people inside of the free Telegram channel, and every single one of these people did in fact make plenty of money. So first of all, NU. I took this trade based on the 1 hour. Obviously this was a 4-hour zone here, this little support and resistance. We came up, tried to break, rejected, came up, tried to break, rejected, came up, rejected, pushed above, found some support, but then crashed below. And I was actually able to anticipate the crash below. So if we go on to the 1 hour, this is where I decided to get in on the action. So we pushed above, we came back to retest, but then when we went to push higher, we actually created this nice pin bar, rejecting it off this little zone here, and a lower high, which was absolutely the most important thing when I was taking this trade. We created a lower high, we created a pin bar, but this wasn't quite enough yet because we still had this resistance to break. We still had the moving average to break. So I didn't want to prematurely get into the trade and then be straight into drawdown and lose a trade, and possibly all of that for a tiny bit of a better risk to reward ratio. So what happened is I waited until we got a break of structure, which is this, and the moving average. So I got in down here. So this is the trade that I sent out to all of the clients inside of the Telegram channel. I took a short, got in about here. It was either this candle or this candle. I think it was this one here, because I put my stop loss down to here and my take profit up here. So we're going to go off that because that was actually the first break of the moving average. So we got in about here. Stops were just above. Targets were down here. And this was an absolutely beautiful trade. 1 to 2.5, 20 pip. 20 pip stop loss, 50 pip take profit. And this happened inside not very long at all. 8 hours. So we got in this early in the morning. By the time market had closed, we was already in and out inside a day. Great trade. And if I'm honest, going into the new week with NZD USD, I'm still looking for some more downside momentum. If we just clear up the charts a little bit, get rid of this because it's not as clear. We've got a nice little zone that we've targeted here, which we've respected really nicely. This little move here, the little push up, I'm assuming this was just because a lot of other retail traders had take profits, etc., all in this zone. So when you hit a take profit in a sell position, someone needs to buy that spot back, which is why when a sell position closes, it basically is turned into a buy position. Hence why we have this small reaction here. I do anticipate this pair to go lower heading into the new week, because I do believe that the US dollar has had its sort of shaky off week, if you would call it. So I would like to see a push down to this, a push up to this zone, and then maybe a target back down to the previous lows. We'll have to wait and see, but I would probably be targeting 67388 heading into next week with NZD USD. This trade here, now NZD JPY, I'll actually have to go back onto the Telegram group as to why I took this trade, because I can't exactly remember why. or what time frame I was on. It was obviously for a reason, and it was a very profitable reason because everyone in the group made some money. But I just need to double check. So that's the NZD USD NU. This is the NJ1. So here, as you can see, we have a support and resistance zone. So we've come up into this resistance zone, rejected, broke above, tested, pushed up. Now we've come down here, we've broken through this same zone, and we've actually created a couple of dojis. Dojis and indecision is such a fun thing to trade because you know that when you're getting dojis like this and the up move's not even really got underway, you know that there's a reversal inbound. So it's broken through here. We've had a slight retracement, but the candlesticks have got really small. Dojis are essentially indecision candles. So we've got to here. We've not really decided that we want to go higher. And what have I done? I've taken a sell position with stops just above, and I'm targeting these lows down here. So if I show you this, what it looks like on the chart, what time frame was this on? This was on the H1. So I believe this was this zone here. So if we get rid of that for a second to make everything a bit more clear. So we had this here, and this is why I took this trade. We had the zone there, we had the break below, we had the retest, we had the pin bar, we had the bullish bearish doji, sorry, and I was targeting this zone down here. NJ actually hit take profit very, very quickly. So if we go for a short position, I got on one of these dojis. We had the price just above there for a stop loss, and then we had a take profit all the way down here. And this trade, if we got on one of these dojis, I'll go for the furthest away one. So the one that's not most recent, just to give you an idea of how quickly we was in and out this trade the other day. So here we go, dates and price range. So we'll go from this one here. So hit take profit. We was in this trade for about 7 hours. So 7 hours on one trade, 8 hours on the other, and we had made 1 to 3 on this trade and a 1 to 2 on the previous trade. Anyway, heading into the new week, just sort of like NZD USD, I'm expecting to see some more downside momentum. Hopefully, if we can break this area of structure here, we will be able to see some more downside movement. If I just draw this on, because it's a really nice zone. So that's the daily zone. If we can crack below this daily zone, that would be very nice, because we could extend that to there. Now, if we go down to the 4 hour, for example, if we was to target here, we could go for short positions. Say we got a pretty good entry here. We could target all the way down here. There's 160 pips, 1 to 2 risk to reward. Just above this zone, stop loss. This is in a safe place. It's above the moving average. It's above previous resistance. This is a really good trade. We'd get a 1 to 2 risk to reward, or 1 to 2.3 risk to reward, risking 70 pips, gaining 163. And if you was really smart, you could in fact go down to the 1 hour and maybe find a way to muscle a tighter stop loss. For me personally, I'd like to see a break of this zone and then have a stop loss just above here, above the moving average, and then a target below there. I think that's the safest option. And if I was to get stopped out, it'd have to break above the moving average, it'd have to break above resistance. So that's where personally I would prefer to have that one. Heading into Euro USD, as I said, I do believe that the US dollar has done being weak. I know that a lot of people and a lot of other traders wanted to target this area here at the sort of 115.2 area. We haven't actually managed to get up there even close. Potentially what we could see now is, if we draw a zone here, we could do this, because we've had almost a touch there, 2 touches there, and then a clear breakthrough. So what we could see potentially is a retracement down into this zone here. If we saw something like this, down into this zone, and then maybe a push back up to the upside, we could see that. Or we could see something like this, a push down to here, a lower high, and then crack back into this little range that we've had, that was going on for way too long. Since early November we hit this range, and we just haven't been able to get out of it since. So I do think that Euro USD will trend again, potentially if we get a break back into this zone. We'll break below the zone and out the zone. We'll have to wait and see. Trading is all about, if you see this, you're going to do this. So if I did get to this zone, which is an area of interest for me, if I felt like we saw enough rejection, then potentially we could see something like this. So we could go for a long position. We could have, let's just say we got a pretty good entry. You could have your stops down here. Personally, I wouldn't want to. This is the daily chart. So I would jump down to the 4 hour. And then I would probably have an aggressive stop loss, which would be about there. This way, it's below the moving average. It's below these lows here. And then it gives us a decent risk to reward. That's a 50 pip stop loss and 144 pip take profit. Like I said, all hindsight, we'll have to see what happens. Will we break into this zone again? Will we reject and push higher? Or will we snap below it, come retrace, retest, and then push lower? We'll just have to wait and see. Gold, what a pair. Took a short on this, stopped straight out. Well, not straight out. It was unfortunate, and all the reasons why I did see were valid, and if I was to take the trade again, I definitely would. With gold, we're just going sideways, to be honest. Not much has happened with gold. Even, to be fair, even with the US dollar gaining some strength, I know that we had a couple of bad news events for the US dollar last week. Still wasn't able to push gold out of this range. Even with the US dollar being so strong, we still wasn't able to push out of this range, higher or lower. So even if the US dollar was getting weak, we didn't push out. Even if the US dollar was getting strong, we still didn't push out. So for me, it's just about scalping, probably. Gold at the moment. I don't want to be holding this trade for too long, because at the moment I'm not seeing a way out of this consolidation phase. We've hit here since July. We've held this range. I know we had a couple of spikes below here, but for the most part, we've been sticking to this sort of tight range at 17.62 and at the top of the range 18.29. And unless we get a convincing breakout, I won't be taking any entries. We did get a breakout here, and then what happened? Snapped straight back into this zone. So I'll probably be looking for some shorts like this. It does seem to be respecting all the zones at the moment. So if I was to get in here, I would have a very, 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 very tight stop loss. This is obviously on the daily chart, so let's scroll down a little bit. It would be literally so tight. It would be just above these tops here, and then it would be targeting the lows down here for literally a 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio dead. Obviously, as you can see, the moving average is also cutting through the middle of these, which just indicates consolidation. Gold, not much at all in the way of that. The DXY, we snapped below this this trend line here, this long-term trend line that we've held since May of 2021. We're now in, obviously, 2022. So we've held this since last spring. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7, 8 touches, a break below, and it snaps straight up. Heading into next week, definitely we're going to see some dollar strength. I would like to see the dollar come and test this area here. Maybe we could test it and then break below and then do something like that. So we're retesting this consolidation zone, and then we're pushing below it, and then we retest this trend line and we keep pushing low. That's ideally what could happen. What could still happen is we could break past this, snap up, and then carry on going. We'll have to see, but definitely heading into next week, I am predicting some US dollar strength. And I'm saying it right now, and it is currently the 16th of January, Sunday evening on the 16th of January. So heading into the 16th onwards week, I do believe we could see some beautiful dollar strength, which is also great opportunities for GBPUSD. I would like to see a retracement. I got in on this trade on the signals group, and once again I put the trade in the signals group, and we all made some money, and it was beautiful. We got out of that trade like a 1 to 3 risk to reward, and we all made some money. We just make money hand over fist all of the time in the signals group. Like I said, if you want to join that, there'll be a link to that down in the description. But if we're looking at a Fibonacci retracement, we could have that from there to these highs here. And I'm not seeing really anything clear in terms of zones. We are on the daily, so if we drop down to the 4 hour, actually, if it was the 4 hour, I'm going to change that up a little bit because I don't like that swing low. To be fair, we've had a huge push upwards, and this is the only real zone that I see. If we was to get a retracement, I'd probably do it from this swing low here. That is one of the major lows that I can see. Then we have a cluster of highs here, like that. Right, so I would like to see a retracement down into this area here. As you can see, we do have some sort of a zone in here. Potentially we could target in that, and then we could have a buy order here, stop loss below the 78.6. I'm not too sure. I personally don't think it's going to get down to here. I know that we're going to have a strong US dollar, I believe, heading into next week, but potentially we could see some upside potential coming into this zone here. So something maybe like this, down into here, so down into there, and then a push up to this high. That's what I would do personally. I would like to see that. We could have something like this, long position. We could have that. I would do probably like that, about a 50 pip stop loss, and then a 200 pip take profit, because that's the next major zone. What you could do, and this is what I would personally do, is open up 2 positions, so half the risk on each. So if you do risk 1%, open up 2 positions, half and half. So you could have 1 position, it's just below these lows, below the moving average. Great confluences to have, and if you feel like it breaks below this market structure, that's broken a lower high, it's broken the moving average. So if it does hit it, fine. So you could risk 0.5% on here with a stop loss down there, and then target this 138 area. That could be one target, and then you could have your first target set to just these highs here. So you get almost 1 to 3 with this trade alone, targeting old highs, and then a 1 to 4 targeting the old highs. So the next major zone highs, you could have 1 to 4, and then 1 to almost 1 to 3 targeting the previous swing highs. Like I said, I do anticipate a strong dollar next week, so we'll just have to wait and see. GBP JPY, what a pair this is. This is such a volatile pair. I asked in the group the other day, do people want to see me scalp some more, which obviously means more trades, which in turn could potentially lead to some more profit being made. Everyone wanted to make more money, obviously, and see me scalp this. So this is what I'm going to be doing heading into next week. We've got, what's that, a quadruple top. We've touched there once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. Each time we've hit this zone, we've snapped low. So here we snapped this low, here we snapped this low, and then here we snapped even lower. As you can see, GBPJPY is starting to make some downwards momentum. We're starting to create some downward structure. We've got lower highs, lower lows. This is looking like it is going to crash, maybe even to down here. If we go on to the 1 hour time frame, I would like to see something like this. In fact, this is a really good trade that I haven't actually seen. I'm just going to move this zone for simplicity purposes. So we could have something like that. Like that. That would be perfect. If we was to get in here, and to be fair, on market open in just a couple of hours time, I might actually place a GBP JPY trade. Stop losses just above these high. I think that's a really good zone to have it. It's above the previous swing high. It's above the moving average. Safe space, under 50 pips. Target all the way down here. 1 to 3 risk to reward. Nice and easy. What's this other zone here? You could also target this zone. That would still give you a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So maybe you could once again open 2 positions. Open one here. First targets, second targets. This one down here is definitely more of a major zone at 154.450. That is definitely a major zone, so we'll have to look out for that. If you didn't know, the yen is a sort of haven currency. So if you look at the US dollar, when there was the global pandemic kicking off, everyone wanted to have the US dollar. It's like gold. It's a very good long-term investment for holding your money to keep its value. And it's like, I don't know why, but people, for long-term investments and for safe haven investments, they pick the yen, they pick the US dollar, and they pick gold. Gold for obvious reasons, because gold, not only is it a safe haven for your money, it rises in value. Year in, year out, gold will rise in value, and it will carry on rising for the foreseeable future. The yen is just a pair that you want to have your money in. It's just a stable pair. Not much really happens with the yen. It's a safe haven pair, just like the US dollar. That's why if we go into the DXY, if I might actually be able to show you, when we first hit the pandemic, the DXY would have had an absolute massive incline. So what was this? So about March, and this is what I'm saying, perfect example. So March, we got down to these lows, everyone started to go into lockdown, and then we had this huge rally on the US dollar. Once again, it's a safe haven pair. Everyone just likes to have their money invested in the US dollar because it's just a safe haven. I can't really tell you why, but that's just what investors like. They'd invest their money into US dollar, and in just a matter of days, we climbed 7,979 pips in just 25 days. So in about a month's time, we gained almost 10,000 pips to the upside. Once again, everyone wanted to invest in the US dollar because there was a global pandemic, so on and so forth. And then as we started to get longer and longer into the pandemic, and it started to become maybe less of a concern, and everyone started to come out of lockdowns, it started trickling down again. And then when the US dollar started going into lockdowns and COVID and all that sort of crap, it started to push up again. But that's been the video. Let me know what you guys think. It is video marathon month. Every other day we'll have a video up on the channel. We uploaded yesterday that was talking about a MetaTrader 4 video and how to trade on your phone using MetaTrader 4. If you're a beginner and you do trade off your phone, definitely the place you want to be. So go and check that out. There'll be a link to that down in the description, as well as a link down in the Telegram as well. So if you want to join the free signal groups, there'll be a link to that and yesterday's video. There'll be a video up tomorrow. This was just a bonus video that I wanted to pump out for everyone. But thank you all so much for watching. This is Lukey, and I'm signing out. Peace.